Why I'm super always excited about real estate is because of this. Real estate offers some foundational, multiple wealth creation instruments within it. So, couple things. In traditional home ownership of real estate, just owning the roof over your head, even if you guys are holding your phones right now, by show of hands, who here lives somewhere? Yeah, we all in. All right, we're all going to live somewhere. So if we're all going to live somewhere, it behooves us to have control and ownership over the roof over our head at some given point. Now, why? So let's get into the perks of real estate. Then I'm going to tell you how easy it is to do in many cases. So one, the perks of real estate is this. You can buy a 4-unit house, anything from 1-unit condo, townhouse, to a 2-family duplex, to a triplex 3-unit, up to a 4-unit house, or even a 4-unit house with a store attached. You could literally buy right now in current banking guidelines for 3% down. What that means is $3,000 down payment for a $100,000 house, or $9,000 down for a $300,000 house. You can get a $500,000 house for $15,000 down. These are the opportunities where you should be looking at with that new 6-figure job coming up from all your tech opportunities, black and hired. Why is that important outside of just a low down payment? I'm saying that to say many of us think we need $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $70,000 down to buy this $200,000, $300,000 property. You don't. Now, if you were to buy a multifamily outside the low down payment, right, which is one reason why we want to buy, so we want to say we got the low down payment opportunity. Outside of that, you could literally buy a multifamily and rent out your other units, live in one unit, and now be living for free or receiving rental income while you live. So now you got your tenants paying for your mortgage for you, and you might even get more than what the mortgage is and walk away with some cash every month while you're living for free. Off the same thing you would have spent to just be a liability in a debt renting somewhere. Another perk. Power and control. When I was 25 years old, I bought my first 2-family house and 4 acres of land. And I tell this story about when I was going to visit my property. My tenant was living in the property and her children were playing in the front lawn. I'm 25, coming from the gym, got my Yankee fitted on tilt, got Lil Weezy playing in my Range Rover. And I'm pulling up to the property and the kids are like, the landlord's here, the landlord's here. And I'm like, oh shit, that's me. Not only am I the landlord, I'm the lord of the land. I'm the shot caller. I'm the one that controls this premises. And so the power and control is a real ego booster, a real morale booster for our community when you realize that you actually have the deed. You're the lord of the land, and that your family has this asset as long as you take care of it, right? So it's a big morale booster to have that level of ownership. It's nothing like seeing your name on a deed of a property, right? So that's another perk. Now, when we rent properties, and mind you, there's a time and place to rent, time and place to lease. Nothing wrong with it. But it's us knowing when that time and place is, and when it's our time to get about the lease and to become owners. When we lease an apartment, a townhouse, a high-rise, etc., after 3 years and we leave, how much money do we walk away, gain from that property? 0. What if we stay there 10 years? 0? You might get your Social Security deposit back. You lucky. I've been a landlord for over about 20 years, and I ain't seen a full security deposit get sent back yet. So when you're living somewhere, what happens is over time, properties tend to go up in value over time, which is called appreciation. Not to mention, you pay your mortgage down over time, which is called principal pay down, and you pay down your mortgage. So what happens is when you get a mortgage, which is a contract with a bank for a loan, when you get a mortgage, you pay it down. You might have started with this property at $200,000. You put $6,000 down, you bought a property for $200,000. Now over the next 7 years, you've paid it down, and now you owe the bank, what do you even call it, $190,000. So the property, you paid down some of the property. Well, over that same 7-year period, the market was hot, and the property went up to $240,000 of value. So what equity is, right? That's going to be our next one, is gaining equity in a home. Equity is the difference between what you owe on a property and what it's worth. So even though we started out at $200,000, as we pay down our mortgage to $190,000, but it's worth $240,000, how much equity have we gained in this property? Okay, add fast, $50,000. This $50,000 you can take a loan out against, tax-free, and use that to go buy the real estate, invest into an app, invest into another business, to be able to take care of family, invest into your education, and do other things tax-free by simply living in a property and doing what you was going to do anyway. We all agree we live somewhere anyway. Only difference is when you're leasing, you walk away with nothing at the term of that lease. And in home ownership, you give yourself an opportunity to at least walk away with something in equity, let alone living for free, having the morale of ownership and control. And I ain't even done yet. This is all from one vehicle of simply just owning a roof over our head and we got to live somewhere. Then you get the tax advantages from owning real estate. So now you got that $150,000 a year, you're going to have to pay Uncle Sam a different kind of bag. Well, as you own real estate, your closing costs become tax deductible. Interest on your mortgage can be tax deductible. The maintenance on rental properties can be tax deductible. And you get all these different tax advantages. Depreciation on a home could be tax deductible. So you can literally have write-offs from your earned income to therefore mitigate your tax exposure and expense, retaining more wealth for your last name. All by doing something you was going to do anyway, which was live. So it's this kind of simple, basic information that we don't get in schools, many of us didn't get the privilege to earn or learn at home, that can transform our family wealth and turn your $150,000 bag and income, and turn your $150,000 or $100,000 six-figure black and hired salary, instead of looking at it as a new liability opportunity, we can now be black and hired and be looking at asset and ownership opportunities and wealth creation opportunities, right?